Hey y'all. Don't run away. Don't run away. I'm not a ghost. I'm actually here in the flesh. Oh, I just have so many thoughts and so much to get into. Hi guys. It's your girl Simone Nicole here. I don't even remember my intro anymore. It's your girl Simone Nicole here. Back at it again with yet another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about where the hell I've been. This will be like a life update kind of deal. I'm clearly in a new setup. If you guys watched my last upload, which was like a month ago, you will see that I finally made the move to Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm so unbelievably excited, happy. There's just so much I want to get into. Usually this would be the part where I do a subscriber shout out of the day, but to keep it a buck with you, I've been avoiding going to my YouTube studio and going into my comments. And we'll kind of get into that a little bit more, but the subscriber shout out will come back. I do appreciate you guys. I do love you guys, but I don't want to be like dishonest about it and just act like, oh, I forgot that I do that. No, I didn't forget that I do it. I'm a little nervous, you feel me? So I'm gonna stop rambling and we're just gonna get into talking about where I've been. The first reason that I have been gone for a while is because I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. I want to touch on a little bit, I guess, about how I feel and like what it's been like being here. And honestly, it's been wonderful. As far as the logistics of like actually moving, the biggest thing for me was just how effing expensive it is to move. And I will, like I promised, have a video coming out about that process of like how I saved, how I looked for my apartment, how I found my apartment, advice, all of that. I will eventually make that video for you guys, but until then, I guess I'll just keep it brief and say that it was smooth. It was stressful because like just moving is stressful, but moving to another state and then all the ins and outs of it and like putting bills in my name, what, ghetto, doing all of that and getting adjusted to all of that, making sure that my stuff got down here safely, and then just like realizing that all the money that I'm spending is money that I've saved and money that I've worked hard for and money that's for this exact reason. But that was difficult to like go into this nest egg that I had created for the specific purpose of moving, to take it out to move, if that makes any sense. I know I probably sound crazy, but that's the whole thing of like physically moving down here, right? But to talk about like emotionally how it's been, honestly, what I expected to happen kind of didn't happen, and other things that I didn't expect did happen. So what I didn't expect is that I was not like so sad when I moved. Like I didn't have an emotional breakdown when I said goodbye to my family. I never like freaked out like being in the house by myself because I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. I never freaked out in that way either, like feeling lonely or feeling scared or anything like that. I didn't miss my family like I thought I would. Like I didn't pass out from how sad I was. What has been more of an adjustment is being here and then trying to like understand myself as an adult and like being by myself and my relationship to other people, to intimate relationships, how to make new friends, whoa, crazy, how to start navigating like the thought that like I know I'm only 25 and I know that I just moved out, but like I'm starting to think about like life. Like I feel like life has smacked me in the face. I'm just like, whoa, like I'm doing things. Like it's made me start to think about the trajectory that I want to go in my life. And it's been a lot of work, introspection, and relationship development, my relationship to myself, my relationship to others, with friends, with partners, with all of that. It has been a journey, and it's only been 2 months. So I don't think I addressed this at the beginning of the video. This will not be my permanent setup. Something else that has stopped me from filming is that I don't like my background right now. I'm pointing like y'all can see behind the camera, but behind the camera, this is my 2nd bedroom and I have a desk behind the camera. The idea is to film at the desk and not be on the floor in front of the futon in my second bedroom. It's just a white wall back there. I haven't put anything back there. I want like a little table behind me so that I can put things back there so that it can like have these like the vibes, you know. And it drives me crazy when creators film up against a flat white surface. Like what am I looking at? Like, it's upsetting. So I didn't want to do that, so it kind of kept me from filming. But I was just like, you know what, I can't. I'm gonna get into why I feel like I kind of owe. That's not good rhetoric though, because I don't want to feel like I owe you guys something. I'm gonna go on a small tangent. A lot of creators start their YouTube channel, yes, for the love of creating, but also with the intention of moving on to the next level. I've said that in many a video, that my YouTube channel is not the end goal for me. Like, I'm an actor, I'm a creator, I'm a creative person. I have so many things that I want to get into. And I know that in this day and age that like the traditional way of getting to those levels is not like going on 100,000 auditions. Things are starting to change, and I'm trying to adapt to those changes or adapt with those changes. But it's like once something big happens for a creator, they disappear off of their YouTube channel, and then the creator's like, oh, but I feel like I owe them something because that's where I started from. But then it's just like this weird dynamic of like, but we gave you all of this, but it's like, yeah, you gave me this opportunity, you gave me the avenue, but I worked for it. It's just like this whole long thought process. And for the rest of my time on this channel, I want to be transparent with you guys. This is such a long tangent, but I promise I'm gonna get back to the points that I wanted to make. While influencers overshare their life, they don't have open conversations about like harder or more controversial topics. And not like about political things, because Lord knows I talk about them on my channel, chat. More so about like the idea that the creator owes their audience something because they don't want to offend their audience. But it's like, how would they know your perspective if you don't talk about it? This is a much longer conversation for a different time, and you're probably like, why are you going on this whole tangent? And it'll make sense for my next point. What brought up that whole long tangent was that I just felt like I had to sit down, I had to do something because I owe it to you all. But in reality, what I kind of figured out is that I don't owe it to you all, I owe it to myself. I was watching, I can't remember whose video it was, but I was watching someone's video, and they were talking about the idea of self-love. And it's not like, they were like, people define self-love or self-care as like going out and getting your nails done and getting your hair done and doing this and doing that. And they were saying, I think that self-care is doing what's hard, holding yourself accountable, working your behind off, like making deadlines and sticking to them, not procrastinating, basically like not playing with your own potential. That's self-care. And I feel like I was doing that. Like, I know that I'm working hard on everything that I have going on, but I know that I'm slacking, and that I could work harder, I could be more disciplined, and I want to do that. So that's kind of what brings us here. Now let's get to a very, very exciting part of the video and why I went on that whole long thing about influencers being honest with their audience about blah, 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 blah. I have a show on Snapchat about dating, about online dating in the modern world. I'm so happy to share it here with you guys. I would say that like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm announcing this, but I've talked about it so much. It launched, now we're on episode 6. I have so many thoughts that I want to talk to you guys about. But first and foremost, I want to emphasize that I would have never been able to get that show if it had not been for my YouTube channel and if it had not been for you all support. And I know that creators use that phrase so loosely, but I quite literally mean it. I was contacted months ago about doing the show, and I remember reading it and being like, the lies you tell. I got an email from a small media company called Good Content LLC, and they asked me if I wanted to interview to be a co-host for a new show that they wanted to start. And I just felt like no way, because how do you know that this is like a perfect fit for me? It was like being handed a dream project and not having to, I didn't have to try. I didn't have to like go out and like go on Indeed and go on LinkedIn and do this and do that in order to find this opportunity. It literally slid into my inbox. So I went on to interview for the show, and one of the questions that I asked, because I was interviewing with the executive producer and with the producer, I asked like, so how did you guys find me? And I knew that it was from my YouTube channel. I knew that, not because they had told me yet, but because my executive producer, I still make fun of him for it to this day. He called me Nicole throughout the entire interview process, and I was just like, what? It was fine. Like, I just went with it because I was so freaking nervous. So they ended up telling me that they saw my worst first date ever story time. And after they watched that, after they came across that on YouTube, they knew that they wanted to at least reach out to me about this project. And I just couldn't freaking believe it. It's not even my most watched story time. I think that the video is sitting at like 7,000 or 8,000 views currently. And it was funny. I've gotten such good feedback on that video. But it's not like a functional beauty video, right? Like, it doesn't have like 500,000 views. So I was just like, you were just looking on YouTube and found that? And he was like, yeah, we were looking on YouTube and found it. And at multiple points in the interview, he quoted from the video. And I was just like, first of all, I am embarrassed. This is embarrassing. I talked about like my vagina and this man saying this and that and all of my, I was so totally 100% myself in that video. And I mean, of course, like I'm happy that he saw that and like wanted to work with me. But then it was also like, damn, you saw that and you still want to work with me. And it's like a professional aspect too. Like, you saw me like that. Like, that's not me at my most professional, right? Like, you saw me like that and you still want me, like, amazing. I interviewed for it, and their whole thing was that they had already had my co-host picked out. They just couldn't find anybody that like really matched her energy very well. And so I interviewed. They seemed to really like me, and they asked me if we could set up a chemistry call between me and who would be my co-host. And we did that, and me and my co-host hit it off. My co-host's name is Isabella. Shout out to you, Isabella. And after we had our chemistry call, they called me and they offered me the show. And I hung up the phone from getting offered the show, and I called my best friend and I broke down crying. And I couldn't even like get the words out, and she was like, you got the show, didn't you? And I was just like, I got the show. It was so surreal. And then my sisters and everyone was like, but Simone, like, this is what you've been working for, so why are you so like, not surprised, but what do you mean? Like, these are the fruits of your labor. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, but like, I just had put it in my head that I was gonna have to grind it out for a really, really, really long time before I got any recognition and before I really got anywhere, because numbers matter, and I only have 20,000 subscribers and this and that, and I just didn't expect this. Like, this is just a crazy blessing. And I remember, I don't know if you guys watched my end of the year wrap up video. I had talked about how it was the best, worst time of my life. And what I didn't say was that at the time where me and my family were going through the worst season, I was being handed this opportunity. There is another huge project that I have been working on behind the scenes that I'll be able to talk about in like the next couple of months. This is so annoying. Oh my God, I'm a YouTuber. I'll be able to talk about it in a couple of months, and that opportunity came to me soon after this opportunity did. So business-wise, I was doing really well, but personally, I couldn't have been doing worse. So it was just this insane time of like, I guess this is the video to talk about it. I'll never really go into detail about what was like really happening at that time. But right before we shot the pilot episode, because the process for this show, okay, I guess I haven't really talked about what the show entails. The whole process of this show was going to be that I got hired onto the show, right? They liked me and my co-host together. So now we have to shoot a pilot episode, but my producer wanted to shoot 2 pilot episodes in order to present to Snapchat. My producer also used to work for Snapchat, or he's the owner of the company. He used to work for Snapchat, so he thought that it would be safe for us to shoot 2 pilots. Those pilots determine whether or not the show gets picked up. So it works a lot like TV does. I don't know if you guys know how TV series works, but basically how it goes is that you shoot this pilot, you present it to the network will greenlight it. Sometimes it's greenlit and they buy like a full season. Sometimes it's greenlit and they buy, like, it's like a conditional buy, like we'll see how the show is doing after the first like 5 episodes or so as to whether you get to continue. Or you could shoot the pilot, send it off to the network, and they completely turn it down because they just don't think it'll be successful. Pilots mean a lot. You have to come with your freaking A game for pilots. And the night before we were to shoot the pilot, I was up until 5 o'clock in the morning with a family member in the hospital. And I went home and had to act like nothing was wrong. I woke up that next day, I shot that pilot as if nothing was wrong. And then my producer wasn't super happy with the way that the first 2 pilots turned out, so we ended up shooting a 3rd pilot. And the night before I had to film for that, or maybe not the night before, maybe like within a couple of days of that shooting, it was another huge incident where I just was so not myself. The people around me were being attacked, and so therefore I wasn't on my A game. And I convinced myself that because I wasn't on my A game, that I have basically squandered this opportunity. So that was a pretty, like, the waiting game in between like getting the pilot shot, getting a desirable cut for all of us where we agreed on everything and agreed on the tone of the show and the pace of the show and all of that. It was a process, and I cannot express how blessed I feel for an opportunity like this. It is so often with shows that you're just the talent. They don't give a shit about your opinion on like how the show is shot, the subject matter, how long episodes are, like all of that stuff. They don't care about what you have to say. I have been involved in every single solitary step of this show, which is absolutely amazing. It's just such a blessing, and it's going to be a hell of a thing to put on my resume that I helped curate and start from the bottom up this brand new show in this format that Snapchat really doesn't have a lot of. So some people might be wondering like, oh, Snapchat has shows. They do. They have a Discover page. If you guys like keep up with like YouTube people, Miss Culture Vulture herself, Miss Nikita Dragon, she has a reality show on there. So there are shows that are produced specifically for Snapchat and to be on Snapchat's Discover page. And I now have a show. It premieres every single week on Tuesdays at the moment. And our last show premiered about 24 hours ago, and we're creeping up on 100,000 views. And keep in mind, our first show opened to 36,000 views. So for 24 hours to go by, and we are before I started filming, I checked and I think we were around like 80,000 views. But our show before that premiered last Tuesday, is pushing 800,000 views, and we are growing in subscribers every single day. It has just been such a treat to work on this project. So I feel like that's about as short as I can keep it for the show, because I don't want this video to be like a million years long. That happened with Snapchat, and I guess I want to round up this video by talking about the direction that I plan on taking my channel. I realized that I've grown this audience from natural hair content, and therefore I will never stop doing natural hair content, because 1, a lot of you guys are here for that, and 2, I genuinely do enjoy educating you guys and empowering you guys through your natural hair. I really do love that. But I never want to be the girl on YouTube that does natural hair. I want to be Simone. I need to learn how I'm going to start integrating this whole like natural hair thing and like product knowledge and all of that stuff in a way that makes me a little happier. I again have to hold myself accountable and say that, like, look, it might not be something that you are seeing financial benefit from now, but you are helping a bunch of people. You have developed this relationship with your subscribers. Some people are outright about the way that they view my channel and how much they enjoy me and how much they love me. And some people will never say a word, but they watch every single video and they support me, and I need to show up. Hello everyone, I am popping into this video. I'm full of surprises today. I'm popping into this video because actually one of my longtime subscribers, her best friend hit me up and was like, hey, we're gonna be in Atlanta for her birthday, and she's loved you forever, and I know that she would love to meet you. Would you be down to like come and surprise her? And I'm like,
Absolutely. So that is where me and my niece are on our way to. My niece is in town too, visiting me. But I figured I would record it because I really appreciate her. I know exactly who she is. She's been subscribed to me for so long. She's been so sweet, so supportive from the very beginning. I'm talking like 2,000 subscribers. I don't know if I'm gonna like vlog like walking up to her. I don't know what the vibes are gonna be because I don't want to overwhelm her and like put her on camera and do all that stuff. So I really don't know. I'm gonna gauge how she feels and all of that, and then that'll be when you see me next.
Everyone, this is Alyssa, her friend Deej, her friend Josh. This is the friend that was responsible for getting me here.
Sorry, the waitress, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, you could. I mean, it's not a big deal though. Oh yeah. Ooh. Hey, Miss Alyssa. Tell me your birthday is
June 13th.
what we reppin'.
Gemini gang. Period.
Gemini season.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, baby. You're in everybody's way. It is Miss Alyssa's birthday. Everyone show her some birthday love in the comment section down below.
Thank you.
Shout out to you, Miss Alyssa. Shout out to you, Mr. Joshua. Pisces birthday twin, period.
I am saying all this stuff about how hard this is and how much work it is and all this stuff. It's like, be honest with yourself, like pat on the back for being honest with yourself, Simone, but also there's a bigger picture here. And if you have started something, you have started this channel, you have started this journey, you need to follow through. That's self-love. When I think about what will help me to sustain my channel, what would get me excited to film, bitch, I love talking. Like, I love talking. I love talking about like lessons that I've learned, things that I've done along the way, and I've bumped my head, showing you guys like hacks, teaching you guys. I'm so into fashion, and I cut it on my channel because it just doesn't do as well anymore. But I've cut that out on my channel, even though I love it. Like, I'm looking at a pile of clothes from Shein and I want to do a haul, and I'm like, no, but no one cares. But I feel like my channel is small enough to where I can pivot. It's not like I'll ever abandon the whole natural hair thing, because I mean, I have natural hair. I was good at growing it, even though I feel like I'm hitting the natural hair plateau, but that's for a different video. I love natural hair products. I will never stop posting in any way, shape, or form about natural hair products, but to say that it will be the focus of my channel moving forward, I can't guarantee that. I know that there will be a healthy mix between natural hair content and other types of content, more lifestyle type of content, and I'm hoping that everyone will grow with me in that way, and that the people that don't really care about me as a person will kind of just fall away. I'm totally okay with that. I want to cultivate an audience that it doesn't matter what I'm talking about, that you guys just like want to be here with me for it. I want to build a community that can have open dialogues about like hard stuff, that we can laugh about. Like, I was thinking about doing like a segment where I either like twist my hair like it kind of is right now, or like I'm deep conditioning my hair, or I'm doing something with my hair and I'm talking about like series, right, on TV. So I thought about that. I think that could be like, that's a great example of what I mean by like integrating like what I want and like what you want. And then my upload schedule, again with the whole like self-love thing and holding myself accountable, moving forward, I will be posting a video once a week. I can definitely do that. I can definitely like work to do that. I can set my schedule to do that. So that's what I want to commit to doing. I want to get excited about my YouTube channel again. Like, I spend the majority of my week working on the show. I still serve a couple of days a week, and then I still have you guys. So I don't ever want to like completely walk away from this channel. Even when I am a famous actress, like I want to like bring you guys on set and like show you guys like a vlog, a day in the life of an actress on set. Like, that's where I want this to eventually go to, you know. This is just the beginning of this journey, and I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be in the room. There's just been so many times and so many different instances where I'm just so damn happy to be in the room. Like, so that brings us to the end of today's video, and that was a bit of a whirlwind and me just talking a mile a minute. but I feel so much more relaxed. I feel so much more myself. I don't think that I was ever like, I feel like maybe I was a little more buttoned up before, but honestly, when you guys go watch the Snapchat show, I don't know if you guys would feel like you're seeing a different part of me, but that is me. I just want to be more unapologetically Simone. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and for sticking through all the way to the end of this video. I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you go check out my show. Did I ever say the name of my show? Wow. My show is called Swipe Talk, featuring myself and Isabella as your host, talking about how to navigate through this crazy world of online dating as a millennial, as a Gen Zer in this day and age. And if I do say so myself, it's hilarious. Make sure you check that out every Tuesday at noon EST. It premieres on Snapchat, and so far all of our previous episodes are available for you to go and binge and watch. With all that being said, make sure you are subscribed if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Remember to keep positivity in your life, because positivity breeds positivity, and we have absolutely no time for negativity in 2021. I'll see you guys next week in another video. Bye guys.